Welcome back, everybody. It is a beautiful, warm day in December. It's almost the end of December. When you see this, it'll probably be New Year's, maybe right before New Year's, maybe right after New Year's. So, Happy New Year. We are loading up the 8.1 Suburban. I'm going to pull the stuff out of the Z71 because we broke it last Friday. And so this Friday, we're being very intelligent. We're going to load up the camper on the 8.1 and we're going right back to where we broke this Suburban, and we're going to try to get to that camp spot and camp tonight because the weather's beautiful and it just worked out where we have the opportunity to try to go today. So we're going to try to go get our last camping trip in for the year if we can make it out there with this Suburban without breaking it. This does have the stronger rear end. It's got the full float 14 bolt in the rear end. It's got the 8.1 liter big block. And you know what we're taking for insurance? We're taking the tow truck. So we got the 454 big block and a bunch of winches because this Suburban doesn't have a winch yet. So, and our tires on here are not great, and it's been raining. It's sunny today, but it's been raining for like a week straight basically. So it's sopping wet, lots of water running around. So these tires are gonna be terrible out there, but that's why we're taking that just in case, because we had issues climbing the hill with this Suburban. We weren't aired down or anything, which we should have been, but that means the 8.1, it's got more power and it's stronger, but without traction, that doesn't mean much. And pulling the camper, it's gonna be some work. So we're taking the tow truck, we're taking the 8.1, and we're gonna go see if we can get back to that spot. But we gotta move some stuff around because I wanna get my drawer system stuck in this one and things like that. So we got all our gear in case we need it. All right, we are all loaded up. We have all 7 kids today. All 7 kids are here. So I think Sarah's driving this and I'm driving that, unless we change our minds and swap places. We're slowly getting closer to the hill that broke the Suburban. I'm slightly nervous, even though I know it's not even that bad of a hill. I mean, it's fairly steep and it's kind of washed out and it's soft because it's wet. But I would guess that I'll go up it in the tow truck at 2-wheel drive. Like, it's just not that bad. All this is pretty good dirt road all the way to camp, as far as I'm aware. But I'm still a little bit nervous because last time we broke stuff. But beautiful country out here. We're getting close though. I'm starting up the hill, then I'm going to holler at Sarah, have her come up so you can see the Suburban go up. We'll see how the tow truck does. Well, you know, it's at least bad enough that the tow truck can't get up it in 2-wheel drive. So I locked the hubs in at the bottom of the hill. Now we're gonna go in 4 low. Should be able to go right on up. I said, it's not that crazy of a hill. It's just very wet. There's clay and the camper's heavy. Truck climbed it no problem once it was in 4-wheel drive, but I was not aired down either, so that is a disadvantage. The gray Suburban is also not aired down, and it has really not great tires, so we'll see. I think I'll have to tug it with the tow truck. I don't think it'll climb it, but we're about to find out. Well, this is the hill right here. You can see it's just a little bit rutted. It's just slick mud, and it's steep, but it's not that steep. Can't believe that's what broke our Suburban. I had to take over the Suburban because we're having issues with the trailer brake controller. I'm out of breath. I just ran up the hill. All right, we're set up here with the tow truck. I've got a 1-inch kinetic rope hooked up to the camper and Suburban. We're gonna try to take it pretty easy at first, see if that does it, and then we might hit it a little harder if we need to. And if that won't work, I'll have to anchor up the truck to a tree and winch it up, but we'll try to avoid that. It helps if it's in gear. All right, we made it up all the bad stuff. Still a little bit of a hill, so I'm gonna leave it hooked up for a little bit longer. Make sure we get all the way to the top. This is one of those hills, this summer when it was dry, we would have driven up this zero problems. May even be not even needed 4-wheel drive. Like, that's how big a difference things can be when it's wet in the Ozarks versus when it's dry. Night and day. Right now, there's no traction. And when you got that much weight you're towing, and terrible tires, and we're not aired down. If we were aired down, it'd be a little easier. Still wouldn't climb it, I don't think. So, kind of interesting to see. it to the top of the hill, just now disconnecting. It's a good thing I stayed connected because there was at least 1 or 2 more pretty steep spots. They weren't as slick, but they might have been steeper. So even some of the other spots, I don't think it would have climbed it. That was a good workout for both vehicles. I don't know if the white one, if it hadn't broken, if we'd have got up that or not. It's not that steep, but it is really slick, and it's just the variation's too much. Anyway, we're almost to camp. We'll see if we can make it there. All right, we have made it to camp. Darkness is upon us. Beautiful big fire ring here. We have a view through the woods here of the valley. This is a really cool spot. We'll show it to you some more in the daylight tomorrow when we can go and show you the views here. But pretty cool spot. Hard to find out here in the Ozarks. So we're gonna get camp set up and try to get a fire going if we can find something dry to burn so we can make us some hot dogs and sausages. Pulling out my stash of dry boards I keep in my toolbox, helping me get fires started when it's super wet. That's fine, it can eat the wood. Since it's been raining so much, everything's soaked, but this will at least help me get it going, and then we'll be able to burn stuff that's a little bit damp after that. So guys, it's late. I'm just enjoying a little bit more fire before going to bed, but everybody's in bed, including the goat. So I think it's time to hit the hay and see what we can find around here in the morning. It's supposed to be a really cool bluff really close to camp that we can hike out to, so we're gonna look for that. And I can hear a waterfall not far from camp, so we'll probably check that out tomorrow too, and then see what else we decide to get into. Good morning, everybody. I slept in a little later than I planned, and the sun's about to come up. Let's get out here to the edge where we can see this. This is a gorgeous spot. Pretty good view from right back there. I got a view. I was watching the city lights out in the valley last night, which was pretty cool. A little further down the hill here, really close to camp, is a massive, actually not massive, a really tall bluff. Let me see if I can find it real quick. And we're gonna explore some more later after breakfast. See what else we can find around here. This is one incredible view. Absolutely beautiful. And look at this rock. All the moss on here. I love it. When you go to a state park or something and there's bluffs, there's moss, but a lot of it's just been walked on so much that this is the kind of stuff that looks untouched by man, which is just beautiful. Incredible spot. That is the hill right there. That little bump, that's Mount Nebo. I can see that right there. That's the cooling tower of Arkansas Nuclear 1. Wow. Ah. This is beautiful. Absolutely incredible. I'm speechless. It's just that awesome. Down in there, I can hear the water. We could hear that from camp. There's a creek coming down this right here. That's running pretty good. I want to go. We need to go around there and see if there's a waterfall over. Should be a waterfall right back up in there. And then you can hear the main creek down in there, which is, there's a lot of water running around with all the rain. Man, love spots like this. This is what it's about. We got plenty of coals this morning. There's a pile of like really rotten mixture of pine and hardwoods here that was pretty doty and rotten and really wet. We just piled this entire fire pit up last night, burned it all up. Huge pile of coals this morning. We'll have a roaring fire in no time, and we barely even need one. It is shockingly warm for the end of December. It's probably in the 40s, maybe even 50s out here right now. Hungry baby. So today is also the last day of the Christmas modern gun hunt. It's just a little 3-day hunt around Christmas for deer. So naturally, I'm gonna wander around here just a little bit. Unlikely that I see anything, but it's always a possibility. So I'll spend a few minutes before breakfast just easing through the woods and see if I might come across a deer or maybe just a squirrel. Well, so far this is not very productive. Really haven't even seen any good sign of squirrels or deer. I haven't found any good big hardwoods. There's a lot of pine here and a little scrubby brush and stuff. Which doesn't mean they aren't here, but they like their acorns, and I haven't seen a good source for acorns anywhere at all. So I may not spend very much time doing this. It's super, super quiet out here, except for the birds. It's about the only thing. Some water running in the distance and the birds. Only things I've heard. Haven't heard a single squirrel bark or anything. Crazy. While I was wandering around the woods wasting time, Sarah was much more productive and made some monster pancakes and fed the chaos crew. Now they're literally climbing the trees. So I don't know what she put in this, but we may all be climbing trees by the time we get done with these. But the goat looks like it got a sedative instead.
down and just put it on there.
We've eaten breakfast. We still got lots to clean up. And the kids are building a fort under that tree stump. This is some of the best times at camp. You're just chilling, drinking coffee, eating breakfast. Kids are running around exploring and playing. And we're just relaxing, which is nice. You don't always have to be doing something crazy. I mean, that's a big part of why we come out here, is just to get away, spend time together, something new for the kids to explore, for us to explore, and to relax a little bit. I mean, we want to get out and do hiking and get some exercise and things like that too, but you got to balance it out a little bit. I think we're going to go ahead and get the tent packed up and a few other things, because it is going to start raining at some point today. I think we've got some time, but the clouds are gathering. Rain's coming up from the south, so we do have a limited amount of nice weather. So we want to get our stuff that's dry packed up. I got the diesel heater running on high, just blasting dry air in the camper and in the tent as much as possible to help dry out. It's just been so wet. There was condensation in the camper and things like that, even though I had the heater running on low last night. Trying not to run the kids out, but trying to produce some dry air in there to keep the humidity down. But it's just so much moisture in the air and everywhere else that it's hard to keep it dry. But we're drying things out. I'm gonna pack up the tent, and then we might go back down to this bluff, maybe try to get down in this ravine over here, see what this water is that we hear running around. And there's also some other waterfalls not too far from here, and some roads we might explore. We're not gonna get on anything crazy today. Nothing, preferably not even as crazy as we did last night coming in, because we just don't have the vehicle for it. Even with the tow truck, we gotta be careful. But we're gonna have some fun, do some exploring, chill around camp, and kind of be lazy today and just enjoy God's creation and time together.
Let somebody else do something that you don't do. You being so fucking nice with me.
Heavy enough?
I don't think you can hang on yet, Zaya. You're a little bit. I don't think you're quite strong enough to do it yet. Yes, but can you hang up to the top while Daddy lets you go?
All right, hang on.
Zaya wants to hang on to it. Here, Zaya. You can hang on to the other side. And if you have to drop, just drop, okay? You hang on. Woo! Zaya's over here swinging. Oh, wait. Every once in a while, it touches the ground.
Mommy, we're doing it.
Yep, you're about to flip it back over. Combined, you're like two heavy little critters. Whoa, you're so high. What are you doing up there? Huh?
Hey, you can let go now.
Whoa! You landed on the tray underneath him.
What?
Her tray. One of his trays underneath him flipped up.
It started sprinkling on us, so we are now in the pack up as rapidly as possible to keep as many things dry as possible. That way we won't have to pull as much stuff out and dry it out later. So we might not get to hike, but we're gonna get things packed up. We're getting close. So yesterday, pulling the Suburban up, I was using, this is the Sandy Cat's kinetic rope, and I've got a bunch of these on the tow truck. He sent me down a bunch to use on the tow truck and to test out. I mostly have 7/8, but this is my 1-inch, which is a little bit bigger, and with the weight of the camper and the weight of the truck, if I was pulling out a Jeep, I'd probably just use the 7/8, or just the vehicle, probably the 7/8, but as much weight as we were dealing with there, the 1-inch was the better option there. And I also had, this is one of their huge shackles. This was way overkill, but this is the Hitch Hero shackle. This one is a 5/8. It is, I didn't need one this big. It was the first one I found in my toolbox here. I've also got some smaller ones. We got a bunch of soft shackles from them. But these, it's got this protective sleeve, and they're a little bit longer. So I can actually run it straight through and out the back of the receiver and back around, and it's got that sleeve on it. So saves me time having to put like any kind of hitch or anything in there. I grabbed that, threw it in there, hooked up the rope, put it on the vehicle. Good products. I've been really happy with them, and they're pretty affordable. they did send them to me, so I might be a little biased, but I actually bought some first and started using them, and then he reached out and sent me some more for the tow truck. So anyway, super thankful for that, because they've been great on some of the recoveries we've done and stuff. We've used them quite a bit, used them around the house a lot, just all kinds of stuff. But I think it is raining, but we're gonna go ahead and walk down to the bluff so everyone can see it, even though it's drizzling. It's not storming, it's just drizzling, and Laser is screaming at the top of his lungs. We're gonna go show everybody the view. I don't think we're gonna hike to the waterfall because we don't have enough raincoats to go around or anything. So I think we're just gonna go out to the bluff and then probably come back and then hit the road and go see what else we can find.
I feel like good.
Is it dry in the fort? I mean, yeah, y'all could probably spend the night under there. You might want to dig it out a little bit. It would probably fill up with water. Okay, come on out. You're getting filthy.
I got a big tree.
Yeah, it's great till the tree stands back up on you. That probably wouldn't happen. It'll fall on over. It's not going to stand back up. Hey.
Yeah.
Let me see your hands. Oh, they're a mess. This is another one of the big rocks jutting out here. You can see those over there. Really cool dynamic bluff line with just these giant rocks like this, and then a lot of pines and steep, and then you got boulders in the mix. Really cool spot. Beautiful, nice views. Can't see quite as far as earlier. The clouds have come in a little bit, but still an incredible spot.
I got it. And someone cut down this edge. Get far.
Time for us to load everybody up and cruise on out of here. Rain is coming. We heard a little bit of thunder in the distance, so we're just gonna, I guess we'll explore a couple roads. There's not a lot of roads we can do with this Suburban and camper that we haven't already done, that aren't just like basic dirt roads. We might drive some of them anyway, just for the scenery, see some of the creeks. It'd be kind of cool. But other than that, there's not a whole lot for us to explore with the setup we have currently. So we can't go too crazy. And it's noon now, and we got family coming today, so we gotta get home and do other stuff. But beautiful spot. We're gonna be back here. We're gonna explore this some more. I love this spot. It's one of my favorite spots now. Come forward again. We're gonna take the slightly longer route, but we won't have to go back down that really steep hill, because I'd almost rather go up it than down it. Down it can get really out of control, especially since the brakes on the camper are being finicky right now. I gotta work on some stuff, so I'd rather take it out the easy way. We got one little hill to climb, and then we'll be out on like a good county road, so shouldn't be too crazy, I hope. this has been a really nice, this whole road's been nice and scenic, a fun road. I'll definitely be coming back. This is one that I'll add on to kind of a good one to run through on a trip or something, because it's kind of scenic and some good stopping spots. That camp spot's really the only camp spot I've seen though. It's not a lot of camp spots. But it's also been a little bit of a stressful road just because it's so slick and because of the capabilities of the Suburban. And it's one thing if I'm driving up slightly sketchy stuff, that doesn't bother me. Like, I feel like I have the ability to make good judgment calls. It makes me a lot more nervous when Sarah is driving up it with the camper and the kids, because believe it or not, pulling a camper off-road is a lot harder than just driving off-road. I drove all this back here in the tow truck in two high, and the Suburban's been in 4 low and needed it. Like, that's how much of a difference it makes. And of course, with the tires on that doesn't help either. But it's just one of those things, like, I'm thinking about what could happen, what I'm going to do if I go up this hill, if I lose traction, you know, what I'm going to do. And I try to explain that to her, like, here's how you need to, especially the brakes on the trailer are not working except manually right now. So if you're going up a hill and you start spinning out, when you come to a stop, you need to reach down and manually activate those brakes and get on the vehicle brakes. And that'll give you 6 wheels of braking, which is better than 4 wheels of drive. So your braking outpowers your drive. That's a good thing about having brakes on the trailer. All off-road trailers should have brakes, in my opinion. And not like surge hydraulic brakes. They need to have electrically actuated brakes that you can manually turn on if you need to. Because there's times where you need to turn those things on independent of the vehicle to help you straighten things out and stuff like that. So there's just a lot of factors that go involved that don't make me nervous to do, but it makes me nervous watching her do it, even though she's a good driver, but she doesn't have as much experience off-road as I do, and it's just certain things I'm like, I don't know if she's thinking about it, so that stresses me out more than me driving it. But it is kind of fun getting to take 2 vehicles, even though we prefer to take one because we like to have the conversation and be together. Like, we miss that part, we miss being together when we're driving separately, but there are some neat aspects to it as well. There's some beautiful country out here in the Ozarks, some gorgeous private property with huge fields, cows, rolling mountains, pasture. I think if I could have my dream job, it would be to own like 1,000 acres in the heart of the Ozarks, have cows, sheep, you know, full on basically ranch operation out here, and then have like some off-road trails on it, have some secluded cabins, not stacked on top of each other, maybe some camping, but like spread out where you could come out with your family and camp on some property, enjoy the amenities there, see some cool animals, the kind of place where you want to take your wife and your 7 kids and go hang out, like an awesome playground, stuff like that, like a place that would be safe. You'd have some seclusion if you wanted and some privacy. You could get like a big house to rent. You could have little cabins for couples, like that kind of thing. And I just live out here. I'd make YouTube videos. I'd raise my animals. I'd hunt. I'd do all that kind of stuff. That would be pretty cool. Probably never happen, but it would be pretty cool. Alright guys, we've hit pavement, so we decided we're just gonna roll on home. No more exploring, it's raining, nasty weather. It is time to go home. We have redeemed ourselves. We've made it to the bluff, we made it to the camp spot. It's a good thing we brought the tow truck, and we've now gone goat camping. So, it is a successful trip, some beautiful views, and some nice relaxing time out in the woods. So, it's a success to end our camping for 2024. So, thanks for watching. Happy New Year. Thanks to those of you that support us on Patreon. I really appreciate it. We'll have this route up, so if you want to go check out that camp spot and that bluff line, you'll be able to. Awesome spot. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Probably in 2025. And this is the perfect example of why Sarah's driving scares me a little bit. It makes me nervous. Yeah, she was trying to back in, but ended up in the yard, and the yard is really soft because of the rain. So now I gotta pull it out. Except the tow truck's alternator went out on the way home, so I gotta charge up the battery before I can run the winches on the tow truck. It's never ending.